Can I lovingly call you out for a second, like just for NCBC moment? Why is it that we spend 10 months pouring into everyone else and then feel guilty for taking 2 weeks to do absolutely nothing? Yes, let's talk about it, shall we? Because I think one of the biggest struggles teachers face during summer isn't exhaustion, it's actually guilt. Hey, if you're new, I'm Patrice, and this is Keeping It Teacherish. If you're old, I'm so glad you're back hanging with your girl. Listen, let's talk about the fact that teaching is one of the few professions where giving more is constantly celebrated, right? Pouring out of yourself, everything is celebrated, and it's also almost expected. We stay late, we spend our own money, we answer emails after hours, you volunteer, you mentor, you take work home, you tutor in the summer, right? And somewhere along the way, many of us start believing that our value is tied to how much we sacrifice, how much we give, how far we go above and beyond, right? So when summer arrives, we don't know how to stop because we've trained ourselves to believe that resting means we're actually falling behind. Check this out. Have you ever noticed that you finally get a day off, no alarms, no responsibility, nothing pressing, and instead of enjoying it, your brain starts making a list? Anybody? I am a list girl. You start thinking about the things that need to be clean, the things that need to be organized. You start planning, you work ahead, you do something, you find a way to create busyness for that time of nothing, right? Girl, who told us, right? Well, maybe not you, maybe me. Who told me that rest had to be earned? Like that mindset alone will have you sitting by the pool feeling stressed about a classroom that you're not even in while you're supposed to be enjoying the beach or the pool. Like that is where we start feeling guilty. I think a lot of teachers actually secretly feel guilty enjoying summer. Not because they don't need it, not because they're not stressed and all the things, but because they've spent so long taking care of everyone else that taking care of themselves feels sort of selfish. We start feeling guilty sleeping in. You feel guilty saying no or not being available. You start feeling guilty spending time on hobby, feeling guilty just resting, right? The things that in our minds we know we need, but because we're so used to showing up for everyone else, we feel guilty for showing up for us and actually pouring into ourselves. Now, hear me out on this because, again, I might be the pot calling the kettle black, but I think we're going through summer together, right? And so that's what Teacher Besties do. As you learn and get better, you help me. And as I learn and get better, I got your back. So hear me out on this. Rest is not the opposite of productivity. And I think that that's where our conflict really lies. Rest makes productivity possible, right? I don't want to get biblical or scriptural on you, but you know, your girl loved Jesus. And so you think about even in creation, where the Bible talks about God created everything for the first 6 days, and then on the seventh day, he rested. Not necessarily because God gets tired, but because it's a part of the process. And again, it's what makes productivity possible because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And of course, God, who is never empty, is showing us this example for us to emulate that you cannot lead from constant depletion. And how are you going to help and pour into others and you just don't have enough? You cannot keep giving your best, especially when you've never given yourself permission to recover. The strongest teachers, the best teachers that I know, aren't the ones who never stop. I'm learning that they're the ones who know when to stop and how to rebuild. In my last video, I told you that rest and recovery are not synonymous, they are completely different. Rest means to stop, and recover means to rebuild. So, those teachers that I believe are the best or that I've seen really do this well is not just because they know how to rest or how to stop, but it's because they actually understand that recovery is a part of the work and it's not separate from it and it's also not earned. Now, friend, let me be honest, as a fellow workaholic that has now turned teacher full time, I've had summers where I was physically out of school or physically out of ministry or physically not doing the thing, but in this case, still physically here because I'm also tutoring, but seriously, mentally still in school. Have you ever done that where you're trying to rest or you get time off and you're trying to really not be there, but you're only absent physically, not mentally. So for me, it's thinking about next year. It's planning. It's trying to be ready. It's for you, it may be worrying. It may be trying to stay ahead, trying to be productive, right? Trying to fix the things that didn't go well this year, or even trying to make the most of every moment. And honestly, that's not resting. It's just changing the location of your stress. It's just reallocating the things that you worry about normally. And exactly that is why I looked busy, because I was uncomfortable being still, right? And that's the reality of what we have to wrestle with as teachers. So this summer, I'm learning something different. And maybe not just learning it as much as really pursuing it intentionally and unapologetically, right? That rest does not require justification. It doesn't need a reward system. Rest is not earned because I did so good this year. Rest doesn't even need permission from anyone else. I don't have to earn rest by being exhausted enough. I don't have to earn rest because I finished every project. I don't even have to earn rest because I got an award this year at school. It's not about proving that you've worked hard. Rest is not a reward. It's a necessity. It's a part of the process. And honestly, because I'm your bestie, I've got to tell you, I think some of us just need to stop asking, what can I accomplish this summer? What can I get done? Or how can I get ahead? And start asking, what would really help me feel whole again? What would really help me feel renewed and restored? What can I deposit back into myself after I have given out so much this year? So let me remind you of something before we go. You do not have to earn rest. Not this week, not this summer, not ever, right? You are worthy of rest simply because you are human. Not because you've checked all the boxes, not because you've got teacher of the year. Like, none of that is required. Simply you being human requires rest. And if you're looking for a simple place to start, I've created this free rest, renew, and reset reflection worksheet that I want to give to you to really help you process this school year, right? Because we want to close that chapter, but most importantly, help you step into summer with more peace and less pressure. Really help you step into a place of reset and renew and not just stop at resting. So if that's for you, grab it below in the description. I've got it all ready for you to download, and you can begin today. And then I want you to let me know in the comments, do you struggle with exhaustion or guilt? Which way do you lean? And also, if you haven't already, you gotta like this video so that the algorithm knows that we're trying to help teachers out here. But also, most importantly, subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Your girl has so much to share with you that I'm learning, that I have learned, and I just want to help the best version of you that you can be, because you're making real difference in the world every single day. And so let me know, do you struggle with exhaustion or guilt? Which way are you leaning? Because I have a feeling that we're probably carrying both. Listen, until next time, my good old teacher bestie, I will see you later. Meanwhile, go do something that makes you happy, girl. Peace.